Welcome to the play ratings. Today, Lou and I will be discussing the Crystal Palace 2, Southampton 1 result at Selhurst Park. Good win to end of the 2024 year. Lou, quick thoughts on the match.
Yeah, it's the next day. I've watched the highlights a few times, watched extended highlights. I really enjoyed Glasner's post-match press conference and Hughes' one. With all the ratings, I like to say that I'm very happy with the 3 points, and it's all positive. It's just we're just gonna dissect what we think about the game, but on an overall scale, I'm completely happy with the 3 points, and I'm all positive.
Yeah, I'm with you. For me, the most important thing, I look back on it and in perspective, if you had told me you would have gotten 4 points from Bournemouth and Southampton, I would have taken it 100%, and we got that 4 points. So, I do worry about performances as season goes on, but right now with the grind, I'll take the win and get out of there. So, let's start with something new for the people watching on YouTube. I try to be a little bit creative. So, Henderson, I gave him a 7, you gave him a 6. Why don't you go first?
There wasn't much to do. He had 0.0 XG prevented, which means he didn't have to do anything. So and he didn't get a clean sheet. So I think a 6 is a fair number for him.
Yeah, I'm the same. He had that one save against Fernandez. It was big, but that aside had nothing to do. So I think 7 for me is pretty fair. Again, no clean sheet, but I'm not sure what he could have done on that goal anyway, so I'm not gonna kill him for that. So. Next, Danny Munoz. I gave him a 6. You gave him a 4.5. So let's delve into that because we had a little discussion about Munoz. We do the little back and forth in our little chat. So I gave him a 6.6 because I gave him a 6. Sorry, because I thought that going forward he was decent. He was very poor on the goal. Again, I talked about it yesterday in the match reaction. If you haven't checked it out, please do. He was very poor on the goal. I'm not really sure why he gave Walker Peters so much time to cross that ball. He's a right-footed left back. Someone his weaker foot, which he kind of did, but he let him cross with his left foot, which he really shouldn't have allowed him to do. But going forward, he had 2 shots. He had 4 tackles defensively. He had the most tackles in the match. Wood, who was the
left centre back,
wing back. Is he centre back?
He was a left centre back, and Walker Peters was the left wing back.
Right. So Walker Peters was kind of dangerous. So he wasn't great with that. But again, what I kind of gave him a little bit of pass for was without him, we don't get that second goal because he is part of that hole. And I'll get to Mitchell later on. He is part of it. He did get the ball, hooked it back. Was he did on purpose? No, but he kept the ball alive. And then obviously Eze scores. So I didn't want to be too harsh, but it wasn't one of his better games. What are your thoughts on Munoz?
It could be a harsh rating, but I'm going on the fact of when a player sets a standard for himself of what we expect, that is way below his standard. And obviously I don't expect him to churn out 8 out of 10s every single week, but 2 major incidents was the open goal that he missed again. He put it in the one place. If he puts it anywhere else, it goes in. Walker Peters doesn't even defend it. He doesn't even know what's going on, and he hits it into the back of Walker Peters. I don't even understand the finish. It just doesn't make. It's like he couldn't kick the ball properly.
It's a fullback finish, right?
Yeah, but he's a wing. He's meant to be a wing back. He's meant to be a goal scoring machine.
Yeah.
Then obviously terrible defending for the Walker Peters goal. He kept the ball alive for the second goal, but to me that was still a bit of an aimless hook back in. There was still no composure. It was a bit lucky for me. I'm being harsh. I expect a bit more from him, and I think it comes from the frustration of our attacks breaking down a lot of the time with our wing backs. And but I can't fault his work rate, up and down, great energy. So it might be a bit harsh, but this I'm going to stick with a 4.5.
No, that's fine. I got no issue with that. The other wing back, Tyreek Mitchell, I gave him a 7, you gave him a 6. I'll go first. I thought Mitchell had a very good game, defensively especially. Let's go quickly to Glasser's made a comment before the match about he does expect to be Danny Munoz. But what I would say is that it's not a problem having complementary type wing backs. I think Ty's ability to go forward has improved, but it's very hit and miss. I think yesterday was a hit game. He had two out of two crosses, and both crosses we should have scored on. There's one cross I remember where three players missed the ball. Mateta, Sarr, and you mentioned Munoz. So he could easily have had 2 assists yesterday. And I mentioned before, he definitely was a part of that goal. Yeah, he hooked it back into the box. He's the last one on that recycled corner kick, but if he doesn't do that, we probably don't get that goal. So give him credit for that. Defensively, I thought I think it's versus Bree. He was very, very good. He was what was he? 5 clearances, 5 recoveries, 3 out of 3 ground duels won. I thought his defense was very good. What are your thoughts on Ty?
I thought Ty was good. I feel like he needed that performance after Bournemouth. I still don't think it was great. I feel like his ball retention is poor sometimes. His choice of pass can be poor. I was talking about Munoz hooking it back. That was more, I think, luck. But I feel like Ty, when you're the last man, you have to have composure. Yeah. And he puts it into a good area. He does. So I'd give Mitchell more plaudits for that more than Munoz. Again, Munoz robs him of an assist because it's a great ball across the box. Again, the second one in the second half. But there's still lapses of concentration. And I feel like he was 1v1 against his defenders and he still was hesitant to maybe shift it out of his feet and get across on. It was a lot of backwards passing. But yeah, much better performance than Bournemouth, but still room for improvement. And he needs a rest. I'm going to put that out there again. He's played 90 minutes again. He's played nearly every minute of every single game. So a 6 might be harsh, but I just want more from him.
That's fair, and I definitely think we're going to keep saying this until January 1st. But yeah, getting him a backup would be massive in this window.
I don't think we need a backup. I think we need someone to compete with him. I don't see it as a backup. I need someone that's going to really push him.
That's fair. I'll take either one. Anything that gets him a rest and pushes him is fine with semantic. Whether you want to go a backup or someone to compete, that's fair. Let's go with Chris Richards. I gave him a 7.5, gave him a 7. Why don't you go first, Lou?
I thought he was solid. I think he'd done a really good job on Diblin. Even though Diblin scored, it wasn't anything to do with him. I think he'd done exactly what Glasner asked him to do. Wasn't outstanding. Wasn't anything poor. And it allowed Chala to push up a bit more. So yeah, solid 7, no complaints. He's going to get a little run in a team. I think he'll play against Chelsea, and then he'll play against Stockport as well. So it's a chance for him to establish himself in the team. 7.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. He'll get a run in the team. Again, it's tough for him. He doesn't play obviously, and he's not going to play a lot because of the back three is so solid. But the 7 for Gahey, I thought he did a really good job again because he hasn't played a lot. And Dibbling, yes, he scored the goal, and yeah, on that play, you see Richards kind of trying to stop him. But that aside, Dibbling was very quiet yesterday. I mean, he's more of a central midfielder, so obviously Hughes and Lerma were part of that defensive duty on Dibbling, but didn't do much. And I thought 89% passing, which is very good. He had a 49 touch. It was the least of the back 3 clearances, 3 recoveries. I thought he was very solid. And I don't think any of the attackers on Southampton really were, doing anything. So I got to give him credit for that.
I think he's a popular person in the team as well. So I feel like when he plays, I think the squad is happy when he gets some minutes as well. I can definitely see that because he's been here quite a few years now.
He has, and that's a great point because I noticed that on the Ezra goal, he's the first one over there smiling and getting in there with the celebration. So you're right, and I remember that you mentioned that in one of our previous ones when he came on
in Ipswich, and
Laqua, exactly. But you're right, he's a good character to have around. So speaking of Laqua, let's go to him next. I gave him a 7.5. You gave him a 7. I'll go first. Listen, not as solid as he has in the past, but I thought he played really well. Onuachu, what is he? 6'7"?
6'6", 6'7".
He's massive. Didn't do anything. Looking at the numbers, I'll go to the eye test in a minute, but numbers wise, 7 clearances, 52 touches, 4 recoveries, 85% passing. But what I really like was the long balls. We talk about Anderson and how he was on long balls. Yesterday, Laqua 4 out of 6. But the key one was on the Sarr opportunity. It was Laqua plays the ball that Mateta flicks on that starts the 1-on-1 on. It's a great ball. It's a great ball. We get to Mateta and Saul later on, but I thought it was a really good ball. Wasn't great on duels, 1 out of 6 overall, but I thought he did a good job. And Anawachu, again, he's a handful. Not a great goal scorer, but he's a handful, and I thought that Laqua did a good job. Your thoughts on Laqua?
Yeah, Laqua, it was a solid 7, and when you don't have an outstanding game, that's what you want. You want someone who's going to give you a 7 out of 10 minimum every week. Yeah, I would say the ground jewels with the eye test, it was probably quite a scrappy game. So the numbers might look a little bit different to what they were. A few misplaced passes, few overhit ones when he was trying to fizz that ball into Mateta. But other than that, I thought it was really good. I thought him and Richards were about the same level, and obviously we'll go into Chala next. But 7 out of 10, and again, he's the first one over with the fans, and he's dancing. He's becoming. You go from that cult hero status to legend. It takes a while, but he's definitely won the fans over straight away, and you can tell he's loving just playing in the Premier League. He loves having fans that like him. And he's headed a good squad.
Yeah. Regarding the fan thing, I caught one of the many videos Pat put out. He was the one at the end. He's there at the end of the
with Trevor.
Yeah, with Trevor at the end. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, that relationship with the fans is brilliant, and you're right. He's going to go from cult hero to legend very quickly, I think. So I agree. Let's get to Trevor Chalobah. I gave him a 8.5. You gave him an 8. Why don't you go first? I think he's a man of the match, but actually we'll get to who actually the fans picked in a minute. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think he was my man of the match. 3rd goal of the season. So listen, from when your defenders are chipping him with goals, he could get 5-6 by the end of the season. I love defenders who attack corners. I don't like passive runs being made for the sake of it. He attacks the ball. Great defensive stats he had. You might have more on there, but I had a quick look. Still needs to the only thing I have with Chalobah is, I've always spoke about that ball in behind from that right centre back position. He underhit quite a few again. That's only my little minor thing I have about his game today. I just want him that quality in behind, because when the Laqua plays it into Mateta, I feel like there's a much better quality, and Gehi when they're playing it into the front. So as long as he improves on that, I'm really happy with it. And he got forward really well. You saw him in a right wing position a few times, and it's funny how you look online 1 or 2 weeks ago, everyone was like, yeah, he's good, but there's no way we should make his loan permanent. Then the end of this game, all I see is we got to buy him, pay the 20 million. So guys, just let him enjoy his football. He hasn't played regularly for a while. You can see he's thriving under a manager like Glasner, and if anything, Glasner is probably going to make his price go up because he's such a good manager and he improves players.
Yeah, that is funny. The whole buy him, don't buy him, buy him, don't buy him. Funny, but again, that's overall. I thought he had man of the match. You're right. It's funny when Gehi, Chalobah, and Laqua play. I think our passing is better. I love Chris Richards, but passing is not his best attribute. So having him and Chalobah and Laqua, passing has to come from Laqua. But I thought Chalobah yesterday, again, massive goal. I just want to shout out to the coaching staff, because I know last year we had prior to Glasgow coming, corner kicks were an issue. But you have to admit, man, having Chalobah, Mateta, Laqua, Gehi on corner kicks, it's gotten better. Lerma, exactly. We are
SAR's big as well.
We're an issue every corner kick now, and you're right. He's got 3 goals. He could have 7, 8, which is massive. But yeah, a great performance. 6 clearances, 8 recoveries. Armstrong, very quiet. I thought he scored because remember in the past we've been linked with Armstrong. You figure a player we've been linked with in the past always scores against us, but didn't do anything. Very solid 4 out of 5 ground duels, 3 out of 5 aerial duels. A massive goal. No, Laqua was very, very good yesterday, so I got to give him credit for that. So let's move to our midfield tour. We'll start with our captain. Again, his first captain for Palace. Watch a post-match. Very proud to be captain, Will Hughes. I gave him a 7. You gave him a 6.5. I'll go first. I think he was very, very solid yesterday. He's with Gay out, Ward not playing, for me, he's the default leader. And I wouldn't have said that, honestly, a year or so ago, because I remember there was a point where we were kind of wondering, like, where's the leadership coming from? But you yesterday, very solid. Linked up well with Lerma for that shot for the Lerma had a couple of really good shots. Yep. Had the corner, obviously, for the assist for Chalaba's goal. Before the goal, actually, there's a ball he plays at the Saw crosses that led to the corner. 80% passing, 5 recoveries, got the yellow, no problem for me because he's going to get the yellow. Silly because again, but he was tired, and we were talking about that in a minute before I subbed. He probably should have subbed up earlier, but I thought he was very solid. I don't think any of the two midfielders, Aribo or Fernandez, did much with Hughes and Lerma in there. But your thoughts on Will Hughes?
Yeah, really good performance. I could have given him a 7. I think what it was the first 20 minutes we looked quite poor, and the midfield wasn't really switched on. Then he grew into the game, and like I said, I don't feel at the moment we have many technicians on the pitch. He's definitely one of them, and he's a leader. What was from my notes? He was injured against Bournemouth, got a knock on his knee.
Yeah,
laid on, come off today, back starting, gets stamped on his foot, requires 3 stitches at half time, still comes out and plays another 20 minutes. That's leading by example. And I remember I told you, if you want your captain to lead by example, and Hughes, every single game he's putting in 7 out of 10. Obviously, I've given him 6.5, but it could have been a 7. It's just clutching at straws a bit. But yeah, no complaints. I thought his passing wasn't as good and as crisp as usual, but I'm gonna put that down to fatigue. Perfect performance. Couldn't really complain under the circumstances.
Move on to his midfield partner, Jefferson Lerma. Lerma's interesting. I gave him a 6. You gave him a 6. But before we get into that, I wanted you to go first. Is that Lerma's interesting because my main gripe with Lerma is his passing. The eye test, but that's never ever bear it out. But you go first on Lerma.
I think it's because he might only misplace 5 or 6 passes, but they're really important 5 or 6 passes. The few that he ballooned in the first half, then there's that moment where we're in behind in the second half, start of the second half, that we've got 4v1 in the box. All he has to do is clip it to the back post, and he hits the half weight. So yeah, those are the things that stick in your mind. And hence why stats isn't what we should just go off. But yeah, again, really worked hard. I know we can complain about the little things, but Lerma and Hughes have saved us without having Wharton and Decore, and the fact that they've been able to put in these performances has really helped us. Didn't get a yellow card, even though he could have got one for that foul in the middle of the park. But like I said, the ref let quite a few things go. And he couldn't have really booked Lerma after not booking Bednarek and etc. all of their players. But yeah, didn't get a yellow. 6 out of 10.
Yeah, you covered it, and I'll just add that he had 2 really good shots. The one in the first half that was saved, a really good save by Ramsey, and then the overhead kick that he could have scored on. But yeah, again, Lerma and Hughes, I like him as a pair because they're very combative. And if you're playing against a certain team like a Southampton or Bournemouth, they're good. It's a technical part that worries me about the two of them, which is why I've always said I prefer Wharton and Decore. It's not a put down, by the way, on Lerma and Hughes. It's just that. But again, they have been very, very good. Without them, we wouldn't have as many points that we have because they've really done a great job. Because to have Hughes and Lerma when you don't have Wharton and Decore is a credit. Is a credit to both of them. It really is. So.
Yeah, I've looked at all the teams. Maybe not top 6 teams, but like the ones who like are looking to push on to Europe, like your Forest, Bournemouth, Fulham, these type of teams, and they all have one kind of nasty player who plays in midfield. Forest have Yates, Bournemouth have Christie, Fulham have Sander Berge. They're not they're not world beaters, but they give you that solid base 7 out of 10, and they are. And at the moment, I feel like we're playing with 2 of those players when we need one and a real technician like Wharton and obviously Decore when he's fully fit. But at the moment, we've got 2 workhorses in there, and they're doing all the nitty gritty off the ball. I think a lot of the time they win the ball quite high up the pitch, but it's just that quality that we need to take us to the next level.
We're going to get to Ebbs now. And I think that's the reason why. And again, it's not put down Lerma and Lerma and Hughes, but I think that's why Eze struggling. He needs that other person there with him. But anyway, Ebbs, I gave him a 7. You gave him a 6. I'll go first. 3 early shots. Kind of quiet in the first half. Fouled 3 times, but for me, that goal is what I'm giving the 7 for. Technically, very good. Volley, half volley, cracking shot. We needed it. It was 1-1. It's a game we had to win. Whether we win it 2-1 or 5-1, we had to win. And the celebration was brilliant. I'm not gonna get into the stats for him because I don't think it was a stat game for him. I just thought it was an important goal. I watched his interview after the game. He feels like it's going to take the team to the next level. He said, "I'll read the quote, but I feel we're in the right place. We're in the right frame of mind. We've got the right mindset, and I feel we'll kick on. I think he'll kick on after this because I think it was a game that he just needed that goal. I think the reaction by the fans was great. We talked about the celebration with Richards and Laqua and Chala after. But what are your thoughts on Ebb's performance versus Southampton?
So it was finally the magic we've all been waiting for. It's a perfect goal to win any game. Brilliant technique. Like I said, an instinctive shot that we all know he's capable of. I think without the goal, he drops a solid 3 out of 10 because it was.
Yeah,
fair. I was very upset with him in the first half because I don't know what Glasner said. They're speaking every day on the phone. I need to know what these conversations entail because I don't know what's Glasner telling him because it's the same thing over and over again. But Glasner said in his post-match he's been suffering, and sometimes the words and encouragement don't help. You just need the rub of the green. You need a ball to drop to you. You need one off the shin, and obviously it came in a bouncing ball at the edge of the box in front of the Holmesdale, and he smashed it in. I can't give him a 7 because the other parts of his game I wasn't very happy with, but it's a game-winning goal, and it's an absolutely massive goal. So yeah,
fair enough. Let's get to Ismaila Sarr. I gave him an 8. You gave him a 7. And just for anybody wants to know, the man of the match for the Palace website was actually Ismaila Sarr. So why don't you go first on Sarr?
Oh, Sarr was really good. William runner. He was our biggest threat all game. He might have to switch up his finishing because, like I said, teams have data analysis. They will look at how a player finishes every single time. And when he was through on goal, Ramsdale, brilliant save. But he loves that front post finish. Maybe he needs to add one across the keeper just to catch him out. William runner every game, pace to burn. The only reason I give him a 7 is we'll get onto Mateta, but I feel like Mateta facilitated Sarr being able to have a good game today. I feel like Mateta done all the nasty work that no one wants to do, the hold up play. But yeah, Sarr was brilliant today. I think I didn't really give too many high ratings because I didn't think the performance was that good.
Right.
But on a scale of everyone on the pitch, Sarr was definitely one of the best players on the pitch by a long way.
Yeah. You nailed, the parts that he did. But what I want to add is that his tracking back was so important in this game. I think that's an underrated part of his game. I mean, you talk about a number 10 or a right wing or whatever you want to call him, or a forward. He works really hard defensively, and that's missed, especially for example on corner kicks. He's always one of the guys that he's got the header, or he's the first guy to catch a ball and then help us create a counter attack. He really worked hard again. The shot that he set up a shot for Eze earlier on. He created 4 chances during the game. He works hard. When he first got here, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know where he was gonna play. I remember the conversation in on our show and other shows about him playing right wing back. I said I wouldn't want to waste him as a right wing back, but I always thought like as a forward, I gotta give Glasner credit. He's not Michael Lee say, he's not his replacement, but he's done a really good job, Glasner, of fitting him into a system that works for him. Because you're right, he and Mateta have something going on. They work really well together. Because a lot of times it's more of a 3-5-2, and they're the two, as opposed to a 3-4-3 where you have Ebbs in there. Ebbs obviously does help, but you've got to give credit to the way that Glasner's gotten him and Mateta working really well together. Go ahead.
Because if we're being honest, Glasner's really asking him to do 2 jobs. He's asking him to be a second striker and to be a 10 at the same time. It's like we said, good managers get the most out of players. And there was that clip that Ben Foster spoke about Ismaila Sarr when he feels loved. That's when he's at his best. And I feel like Glasner's man management is really working for him. The Brighton game, he's cult hero status forever now after the Brighton game. So
100%.
There's not much. His confidence is so high. And if I'm a defender in the Premier League, if going up against Sara Mateta, I'm thinking, oh, these pace and strength, you're not really you're gonna fear it. And add one or two more players to this team, and we'll be feared. We'll be a feared team.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree. Mateta, I gave him a 7.5. I'll go first. I thought Mateta worked his socks off yesterday. Just really worked hard. It's an underrated part of what a striker has to do, especially a striker of his size. You're thinking, okay, people were saying in the past, he doesn't hold the ball up. Because in my Premier League time as a Palace supporter, obviously I've been for a lot longer, but in the Premier League, Benteke was like the one you looked at. Benteke was the hold-up king. But Mateta has really taken it to another level. Really did a good job against Howard Bellis, by the way, and Big Naric. Both got yellow cards, which should have led to red cards for him because they both kicked the you-know-what out of Mateta. But Mateta really did a great job. 2 shots. This is his 3 time, but 44 touches overall. Interfered with Ramsdale. I thought, honestly, it could have been a foul, but if he doesn't do that, and that's a great underrated part of a striker, get in front of the goalie, mess with the goalie's head. If he doesn't do that, Chala doesn't get the goal. I thought Mateta did a really good job yesterday. He just does the little things that you don't really see as a striker. And without him yesterday, we don't win that game. But your thoughts on JP yesterday?
Yeah, I know everyone. Sar got man of the match, and Sar will get all the plaudits. But sometimes I like to look at the game a little bit differently. And when someone works so hard and does so much of the nasty work, it can go under the radar a bit. And I felt like he bullied both those centre halves. And not only did he bully them, his touch was perfect. He held them off. He brought people into play. Like you said, he was really good on the goal. Loves G'ing up the fans. You see him every single time. I think he hasn't scored in a few games. He's due a goal soon. He's keeping Nketiah out the team. Undroppable. Did he play 90 minutes? Did he come off? He played 90 minutes. And Nketiah came on a couple of minutes to go.
No, he played the whole game.
Oh, he played the whole game.
Yeah, Sar and Eze came off. Yeah.
See, the fact that he was even able to run for another 100 minutes
ridiculous.
Is to me, I think him and Sar were just as good as each other, but I just wanted to give Mateta the extra thing just because I feel like it might have gone under the radar a little bit, how hard he works and how tough it is to play as a lone striker up there. And sometimes when you're not getting a service, you can get your head down. You can, nothing's dropping for me. I'm not scoring. But again, unbelievable. And I hope he stays here for another few years. I love him.
Yeah. The 3 subs, I initially did not give them ratings because they only came on for 4 minutes plus injury time. But we'll go through them. If you want to add anything, I have Decore at the 5. You have him at the 5 standard. Anything you want to add for Decore? I don't really have anything.
No, nothing. I don't even want to get into the Kamada nonsense and the Eddie nonsense. Because,
I was going to say Kamada a 5 and Eddie. I
put a 4 just because of the yellow card. That was it.
Exactly. So let's move on to the manager, which I love this. I gave him a 7.5. You gave him a 9. So since you're so glowing, I'll go first. I thought he did a really good job. I thought the tactics were good. I thought the game plan was very good. My only issue was the subs, as far as the timing of the subs, not who he brought on. I thought Kamada, Decore, and Nketiah did a job. Management at the end might have been a little better by a couple of them as far as giving the ball away, but I don't think they were terrible, and we got the 2-1 win. But what I want to add is what you put out before. His man management is elite. It really is elite. You talk about Eze, you talk about Sar, the way he does it. His management of players coming off injuries, like Decore, the way he's Hughes in the past. The way he does that has been really, really good. He doesn't rush players back. He doesn't give them more. Doesn't put them in danger of getting injured. And I just think that I watched his post match again, 100% on point. And again, out of those 2 matches, if you told me before Bournemouth, we've gotten a point from Bournemouth and 3 from Southampton, I would have said thank you. 4 points going to the new year perfectly. So I thought Glasgow did really well. But you gave him the 9, so I'll let you end on this. Why'd you give him a 9?
I think maybe a collective over his management of the last 2 games, bouncing back from the Arsenal 5-1, getting a draw at Bournemouth, then obviously having the pressure of this game. And if we're being honest, we had 19 shots, 10 on target.
Yeah.
He can't facilitate bad finishing and bad defending. I feel like he coached a game where we should have won comfortably 3 or 4-0. So I'm gonna put it on the players for not taking as much responsibility. Yeah, the subs could have been earlier, but I always say if it's 2-2, then it's a big problem. To me, we won the game. So the manager made the right decisions. That's it. And everyone's complaining about Kamada and Nketiah. So
not me.
People are complaining. So he obviously brought them on for the smallest amount of time because he doesn't trust them as much as anyone else does. Maybe I get swayed by his post his press conference and his Christmas jumper. I just love him.
Yeah, I love that. So that's our ratings for the Southampton match. If you want to, feel free to leave comments, leave your ratings in the chat below. Again, as I said yesterday, really appreciate everyone's support in 2024. Great to have Lou as part of our team now. We'll be back for oh my gosh, we got Chelsea coming up. That'll be a good match coming up. I'm sure D, we're doing some kind of a preview for that. I know that Lou and D will be doing a special Palace news, right? You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, with Bruno from Palace Way is meant to become live on Tuesday the 2nd. I think that will follow the preview on the Wednesday. Just talking about the transfers, and he's got an article coming out about Sports Bank and the money behind it and the people behind it. So we're gonna dive into that. So everyone join. We can discuss it.
That'd be great. So again, thank you for joining us. Leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, up the Palace.